Welcome back, MTG Joe here. So we're here with a brew. This is something I've been kind of testing out offline, and it's kind of a pretty unique take on control. So this is a Naya, so red, white, green control list. No Teferis, no Dream Trawlers. This is a base white deck that's using to leverage a variety of enchantments, and then a mild splash in each direction for some utility cards. So basically, I wanted to build a deck around Clothis that was not Gruul aggro. I really like this card. We played it in our Teamer variation of Reclamation. So it's basically an indestructible enchantment pretty much in our deck. We have a very hard time turning it into a creature. But it basically every turn deals 2 damage to the opponent and you gain 2 life. So it's a good way to kind of grind out value on your opponent's side while it just sits passively. The 2 life that you gain also works really nice with Dawn of Hope, which allows you to pay 2 mana and draw a card each turn. This is also a mana sink for your like the turns where you're not really reacting to anything and you can draw, like, create creatures. So it's kind of a win condition in its own, similar to like a Castle Ardenvale. So Birth of Meletes is a good card in this deck. You can fetch some planes, helps fix our mana, give us pseudo card advantage in colors that traditionally don't have card advantage. Creates a blocker and gains you some life, another way to turn on Dawn of Hope. Bonds of Flourishing is a pseudo card advantage spell, so kind of following a theme. Gets a permanent. There's a lot of permanents in our deck between lands and our removal spells in terms of enchantments. And it gains us 3 life. So a whole bunch of ways to get pseudo card advantage, gain life in the deck. Bone Crusher Giant can be found off Bond of Flourishing, where Shock or the other burn spells can't. So it's a good early removal spell, and in the matchups where we need to be the aggressor, target the opponent. 4 Banishing Light, catch-all removal. We have in total 7 Sweepers main, 3 Deafening Clarion, 4 Shatter the Sky. Shatter the Sky actually works out pretty well because it's an answer to Dream Trawler. Blue-white was the hardest matchup I played, managed to grind them out. This deck, in my testing at least, I bet like every aggro deck, especially this mono red deck that's been going around a lot. You gain a lot of incidental life, and then just having access to 7 board wipes main definitely helps. Even just this coming down on turn 3 helps. Win condition is Clothis. This is very slow but can win. But then you have Outlaw's Merriment. So this is an enchantment from the previous set. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you get one of these at random. Either a 3/1 warrior with haste and trample, a 2/1 with lifelink and haste, or a 1/2 that with haste, when the creature enters, deals damage to any target. This can help you stabilize the life gain, target your opponent. It's just another way, another angle to attack your opponent. 2 Calyx. This was a card I just added. I completely overlooked it when I first put this deck together, but it's another way to get pseudo card advantage. We have a lot of ways to find enchantments. Its minus is a way to have pseudo removal, and then its -7 is replenish, so we can get back all our kind of sagas and stuff like that from the graveyard. Elspeth Conquers Death, great card. Exile 3 CMC or more, tax your opponent, and then return either Clothis from the graveyard, Calyx, or the 1 Chandra, or even the Bone Crusher as a 5/4. It's pretty formidable. Mana base is pretty simple. All but 1 land in our deck taps for either red. Sorry, actually that's not true. I was gonna say pretty much all our lands tap for white. We have 1 Castle Ardenvale, 4 plains to kind of go with Birth, 1 mountain, and because we have the double red, and then we just have a couple sources of green between Stomping Grounds, Temple Gardens, and Temple of Plenties. Really, our green is only a singular splash. I've only been playing best of 1 with it, so sideboard's still kind of a tweak. Devout Decree, red black stuff. Hushbringer versus any of the Enter the Battlefield decks. Flash, Simic Ramp, Mono Black. Legion's Warboss, when we want to be the aggressor, good against blue-white control. Knight of Autumn is kind of useful in a variety of cases. So it's extra life gain, it's pressure versus an opponent like in blue-white, and it can also blow up any artifact or enchantment creature. So it's a nice kind of approach to get a couple different ways. Elspeth Sun's Champions for the grindy matchups. You can keep casting it from your graveyard. Another Conquers Death when we need the removal. And Heliod's Intervention is for the heavy kind of artifact enchantment decks. Blue against blue-white control, their only real answer for Klothys is Banishing Light, so it's a way to get rid of that at instant speed. Against hyper-aggressive, we can also gain a bunch of life. So it's pretty much the deck. I'm going to be playing just regular. We're sitting kind of pretty, 10:51, 2 days left. So I don't want to do ranked yet until we're kind of clear. Obviously, I'm playing red, white, green. So my daily is blue and black. But, you know, it is what it is. So traditional standard play. We'll fire this off and see how it goes from here. So I'm trying to take the two decks I haven't played on the channel are Simic Ramp and Blue White Control. If there is an interest in that content, I will play them. They're very good decks. I just feel like there's enough of that going around. I'm trying to play kind of the fun decks, off the beaten track, unique type decks. If you're trying to like spike a tournament, those are probably the two go-to. I like Doom Foretold lists as well. I feel like they attack on an axis that's quite powerful. And they could kind of pivot between multiple roles. We'll play first. This is a keep. So I'm going to lead on the Stomping Ground, so that way if we need to Bone Crusher on two, we can. We have all our mana, we can get Klothys going. So this matchup, I want to try to get Klothys down. Start attacking our opponent's graveyard. So this one's the grindy matchup. It gives them a target for Teferi if they have it this turn, but I want to get it under counter magic. Okay, so they have Banishing Light. So here I'm just going to go out another Birth. Pulls out another land from our deck, and then I'm going to Bone Crusher them on end step. Because then we can cast it next turn. Ooh. Okay, so this is the enchantment version. So I don't like our position. Okay, I like our position a lot better. This is kind of a problematic card. So I kind of want him to tap out so we can Oblivion Ring this. Okay, so they don't have Absorb. That bodes well for us. Just play out the line and say go. We do have 25 lines in the deck. Might be a little high just since we don't have... Okay, so they go Shatter here. We get to draw a card. Shatter's not bad on the way back. Really wish we had a Castle Ardenvale at least to proactively use our mana. Jeez. It's not a Clarion matchup. It's part of the reason why I like Bone Crusher. It gives you a couple options. So this is where their deck's going to be a little bit more effective than ours. I built this deck really to prey on creature decks and mid-range. The control matchup's probably the hardest, because they're going to have access to counter spells, and now they found their Ardenvale, so they could start putting a clock on us. So it's probably a matchup like I want Elspeth's in. Okay, so they got a second one. I'm going to Shatter here. It's actually pretty good for us. Like, if we get vetoed, it kind of sucks, but... Okay, so we clear their board, and we get to get rid of that before they have another play. No more Meletes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 out of our 25 lions. So 13 of our 19 cards have been lions. Magic. So Calyx is good. Another cloth, this is good. Okay, Bonds of Flourishing's pretty good. Lets us dig a bit deeper. So we're going to get Clothis back. And just play out a land. So now we can start eating away at their graveyard. They're attacking for 2 a turn, but we're gaining 2 life a turn. So they're going to be trying to dig for an answer. We also have this popping off in 2 turns, which will get us back a 5/4. They can block it every turn, but at least it's a clock. Mindami's Prophecy. So they top bottom. So let's get rid of... I think we're going to prioritize enchantments. This strikes me as a Dance of the Man's deck. So we can get rid of these. They take some damage. I'll just pass the turn. They'll make another token here. Kind of want to do Shatter the Sky when we have our Bone Crusher out. And I'm also not casting this just as a backup. So Mindami's Prophecy, the Mindami's Prophecy. So let's get rid of the other Meletes. So we're never really going to get an attack in just with how their board's set up. So I was hoping to draw something a little bit better. It's actually hilarious how many lines we've drawn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we got 10 more lines in our deck. 25 live draws. So they top both. They do get to draw 2 off this, so a nice little sequence of chaining there. We'll attack the Prophecy this turn. Okay, so they can Teferi. It'll probably be bounce the Banishing Light. And then here they'll Banishing Light my Clothis. What do they do? The Prophecy. Oh, Prophecy's got 4. Okay, they go Conquer's Death. So it's kind of the reason why we kept the backup in hand. Okay, 31 cards. So I think we got to get rid of Teferi. It's one of the harder cards for us to answer right now. Just hold this. So I'm going to be able, and I kind of regret now not targeting these. So they could rename Prophecy, play it next turn, draw 2 cards. So they Banishing Light, Teferi. Teferi likely could be bounce this Banishing Light. Okay, they just bounce Clothis. So I'm actually going to get rid of this because I don't want him to get the Arc in just yet. Vanishing Light's good. So we'll get rid of that. Just pass turn. We're at 29 cards, we're at 33. 24 minutes, 26. So Clarion's our live draws. We have quite a few. We do need to be mindful. This Teferi's got 2 turns before it could bounce. Okay, so they got an Arkin. Clarion's not bad. So we'll just wipe most of their board. Slows them down a bit. Pass turn. With the Arkins, it's a little difficult. So it's definitely a Heliod's intervention, and that's why I added it in. Night of Autumn. I'm probably going to cut Clarion. So they know the top card of our library. Hey Tay, if you hover just over the right hand corner here, there's a little widget. Let me know if you can't see it if you're on mobile, and I can link you the deck list. Let's get rid of the Arkin. So it's Fairies at 3 here. I think we just want to set it back like another turn or so. Problem is they're gaining a lot more life now. You can find the deck list here. So I don't think we can race it unless we get a Shatter this guy. We've used 1 so far. Okay. So we need Shatter. It's kind of annoying because this is like the one deck that I didn't want to play against. I'm really hoping for creature decks. 7 board wipes main, a bunch of like prison style effects, all very good. They also use 22 minutes. So they're not going super slow, so opponent is playing with some pace. Okay, so we're dead here. So sideboard gets a lot cleaner here. So another Conqueror's Death, Heliod's Intervention, the War Bosses, and the Knights. Actually, I don't mind Elspeth either. Clothis probably still isn't too bad. That's a mana sink. Chandra's fine because it puts... Merriman's fine. We can get rid of the Clarions. Probably get rid of the Bonds of Flourishing. Shave down 2 births. Actually, might get rid of all the births and just play Bonds of Flourishing. Helps us dig a little bit more. Let's cut down 1 Shatter. Just play out like that. Really, this matchup is keeping, and now that we know that they have the Pegasus, we can deal with those. Hey KG, how's it going? This is fine. We got a couple scries, and then this is a mana sink. Yes, please. So here I'm just going to force, if they have the Oblivion Ring. Okay, so they go to Teferi bounces Cloth, this is my guess. Let me see what we get on top. We play Clothis again is my guess. Bond's fine, helps us dig further. Because next turn is going to be Elspeth on Teferi. And then we can start going from there. Then I have 6 mana, so I can Dawn of Hope and Bonds of Flourishing. Let's go Conquer's Death. This kind of slows down their board development as well the following turn. They go Thirstier. So that puts something in the graveyard. So they actually have 2. So Tiny goes away. It's an odd card to bring in. Okay, so they have the Arcan. Ooh, Calyx is nice. So let's just get rid of this. Let's pay 2 here. Second Calyx. So I'm gonna do this probably to the Dawn of Hope. I'd rather keep this in play. So now we got a couple different angles we're going off of. I really like Clothis. I actually pulled 2 full art, like alternate, 1 foil for my box of Calyx. Okay, so interesting to see here what they take. That's actually probably the best, because now I can uptick Calyx. So we'll pay the life. Now I kind of regret paying the life. Getting Chandra down will be very good to put a clock on them. Conquer's Death. I'll just play this tapped. So we can also hit our own Conquer's Death here to hit him for some more damage. So it looks like this version may not have counters, or a very limited amount. Okay, so they go Conquer's Death here. They can deal with Clothis, or they can deal with Calyx. They go with Calyx. I'm going to decline here because I want to get Chandra going. And then next turn I could Conquer's Death on this Banishing Light. We could pretty much get their graveyard under control, so they're not going to get anything of value from the graveyard. Actually, that's 7 mana next turn. Okay, second Conquer's Death. So they are conquering all the death. Still, they're trying to survive here, where we're just really pulling ahead. Don't need a second one. I think let's just grind some more card advantage here. Thank you. So we could pretty much answer any permanent they play that's meaningful. We got Chandra hitting them. So Arkin, not too worried about this. We have 2 Conquer's Death. Okay, Banishing Light. So I get Banishing Light, my Banishing Light, the Banishing Light. So I go Calyx again. We'll decline here. I think we just get rid of Arkin. This also turns off the lifelink. I'll take a Knight of Autumn. Knight of Autumn is another way we can hit this Banishing Light. Okay, this game's going a lot better. Post-board definitely helps secure this matchup. I completely underestimated this card. It just goes in like all my white-based decks now. Revoke Extinction. Cool. Have you considered Elspeth Conquers Death? And what Elspeth Conquers Death can do for you? Maybe I shouldn't have even shown the Knight. But this allows us to get a little aggressive and start attacking in. At the very least, it forces them with this card to stay back on defense. So we're effectively hitting between Klothys and the Chandra emblem, 3 a turn, and then that just speeds up the clock. Okay, so Banishing Light, what do you choose? Klothys for the 4th time? That's not going to beat you. This is going to beat you. Okay, now we're Klothys Wilds. Let's get rid of the enchantments in case they have... likely take the trade here. Then just grind them from value. Okay. Opponent was really hanging on there. I think we run it back. Liked what we saw that game. So really post-board we become Naya mid-range. And then we can kind of put faster pressure against them. We get rid of some of our less useful cards. I don't think finding a plains in this matchup is really that meaningful. Still think we may want to go to 24 lands. We have been a little land heavy. Partially because we don't have the filtering to kind of get rid of. We don't have something like Royal Scions or the such. I'm going to mulligan this hand, but we're on the draw. Maybe we keep... Okay, let's keep. So, green untapped land. We're not going to hit our lands, are we? Because this is pretty solid in this matchup. Are you kidding me? It's something. We're on the mono white plan. If we do get a land, we have Shatter that can wipe their board. And this is part of the reason. Like, they're able to filter their bad draws where we necessarily aren't. Even if we don't hit the land, we have a first Banishing Light to deal with a Horsey. I keep both on top. Oh my god. I shouldn't have said, hey, we should cut from 25 to 24 lands. The thing is, like, we're not completely out of this. Like, we have a lot of answers and they're not really putting any clock on us. They're going to be able to draw some cards. I didn't even pay attention to what they named here. Arcane of Angel's Grace. So they're drawing 4 cards. The nice thing is we do have Shatter, and we do have a Banishing Light. Untap line does work nicely here. Or, you know, just never mind. So the one thing, this does give a counter or a target for Elspeth Conquers Death. Previously they didn't have one on our side of the battlefield. Thirst for Meaning. So they're going to be digging some more. So it's Fairy Bounce here. And they have Ashiok's Erasure. This is like impressive. We've managed to just get absolutely punked. Like, they're giving us a chance. We just need to rip a land and we can wipe the board. Holy shit. Okay, back in it. We're on the deck the opponent out plan. Okay, they have Dream Trawler. We weren't expecting Dream Trawler. Gonna be completely honest with you. I think we're dead. This game's unfortunate. Just, you keep 2 lands, handful of action, and then just never draw another land. And now we're really never gonna, we need particularly a board wipe, which we don't get. Conquers Death, they just tap, so. That's an unfortunate way to go. Now let me fire this up for a best of